It's Chris Watkin back again with the amazing Gail Audley, who is an estate agency coach and guru. Gail, why are so many estate agents got such bad culture in their business? Talk to me.
For me, culture is the non-negotiable behaviours in a company. That's how I would define culture. And I think a lot of agents, they don't know they don't know what's at their core. They don't know what is driving them, because I could say to one agent, why should somebody choose you? What makes you better, special, and different than the agent down the road? And they all say the same. Right? So there's nothing better, special, or different. So, and that to me is the problem. It needs defining. So what is the culture? And as I say, it's the non-negotiable behaviours for me, and that is what leaders and managers, I think, need to be praising their staff on, reviewing.
So culture has to come from the top.
100%. Yes. Yes.
Okay. And is that like motivational posters on the wall saying, with a lion on going, arr,
How did it go again?
arr.
I think they've got to walk the talk. So it's no good just having
Okay.
it kind of on there. They've actually got to follow through and walk the talk, haven't they?
Because a lot of people use the word cultures, mission statements,
They do.
values. You know, what do all these
It's
things?
how you behave. It's your moral compass, isn't it?
I mean, what is the difference between all three?
Well, they do all get merged into one to a certain extent. But for me, I think if we look at cultures, so it's behaviour. And behaviour is how we act, isn't it? So it's how we do things around here. So if you've got a very strong culture, if the culture's strong, then people will become like the culture. So the new people joining the organisation, they'll fit into how we do things around here, won't they?
Yes.
If the culture's weak, then actually what happens is you get people just going off in all different directions.
So the culture comes from the top,
Yes, by how you behave.
how the boss behaves.
Yes.
But surely they need a North Star with regard to the vision and the values for them to do that? Or is that all kind of mixed into
Well,
one?
I think it's what is your moral compass. It's what are you about, isn't it? It's what are you about as a business.
And that's not writing things down on bits of paper, is it?
No.
Or is it?
Well, you can do. Not saying you can't do. I like to say have your lion on the wall with your grr, but it's about living those values and actually being true to them, isn't it? By walking the talk. As you know, I play tennis, so I could talk a good game. I've got to be able to go on court and deliver the results. Well, it's the same with values. It's how we do things around here. It's no good just having the values on a wall. And for me, I would recruit on those values, because then you're getting people who are aligned to your mission, your vision, your values in terms of how we do things around here, aren't you?
It is. It has to come from the top, but also it has to come from, you know, a bit like the army. You're the person that you're sat next to. It's the team,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah, because they will reinforce the culture in the absence of the boss. So the idea is, if the boss is away on a holiday, then you want the culture to carry on, don't you? You don't want, when the cat's away, the mice will play. That culture has to carry on, and it will only do so if it's strong and if it's reinforced. And so one of the things when I'm working for agencies, I think agents are very good at like the KPIs, you know, the tangibles, the figures, yeah. But we're not great at at defining what our behaviours are within the business. And for me, I would recruit on those behaviours. So I'll give you an example of a behaviour, customer-driven, personal effectiveness, for example. Recruit on those, and then you're getting people who are more aligned to the company, aren't you?
It's interesting that you also help law firms with setting culture and things. Is there
Yeah.
any difference between lawyers and estate agents?
No, absolutely not. It's exactly the same. And again, it's the best agents that I work with and the best law firms that I work with you can almost smell the culture when you go in. You know, it's not something that's tangible necessarily, like a cup, but you just know that this is how we do things around here. From how they answer the phone, to how they greet you in reception, to just the way that they dress, everything about them. This is how we do things around here, and they're the best agents and they're the best lawyers.
Can that be taught?
Yeah,
have you had shit show estate agents who've basically turned it around through your guidance and support?
Yes, but it's been like rolling a snowball up a hill for a while. But in order to do that, you've got to sort of get down and dirty with what makes that estate agency tick.
But that starts with the top, doesn't it?
Of course it does. Yeah.
Do you think ultimately the bottom line is I think everyone's in agreement. If a business has great culture, vision, and values, it's going to be successful. That comes from the top. So any bosses watching this have to take personal responsibility, be aware of what they're good and bad at.
Yeah.
And if they need to bring in some help, they need to bring in people like you or others to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, because sometimes it's like anything, you can't see the wood for the trees. Sometimes, if it's your business, sometimes estate agency managers they can't see the wood for the trees, and so we have to do a lot of work initially, getting down and dirty with them, so that they can define what it is that what they're about. And for me, then agents become more motivated when they feel that they're not just going to work because it's a job. They're going to work because they like the people that they work with. They feel that they feel part of something that's bigger than themselves. Yeah. So I mean, a lot of agents I'll give you an example. So I worked with an agent in Leeds quite recently, and one of the negs said to me, "I'm a WOW manager." So I went, "Wow, what's a WOW manager?" War on waste. Okay. Now this particular neg, she was a junior neg, but she was really big on recycling, reusing, that sort of thing. So the managers of the estate agency had given her responsibility, as well as the negotiating duties, to be sort of the WOW manager. And every 6 months when they had their sort of like annual staff get together, she would report on it. How great is that? So you're giving people responsibilities other than their job, so they feel part of the whole. Clever.
Quite simple, if you put your mind to it.
Yeah, and she, although she was really passionate she was a letting agent, really passionate about what she was doing, we probably spent more time talking about the work she was doing on the war on waste. She just felt part of the whole. She felt valued.
But by being valued, she probably was being much better at being a lettings neg.
100%, yeah. But and this is it's a big lesson really for agency managers. You don't have to do it all yourself. You've got probably talented people out there who have got causes, if you like, that they like. Get them involved. Get them, because I've found that people want to be valued for their input as well as their output. And as agents, I think we're good at valuing people for their output, but we're not necessarily good at valuing them for their input. So maybe just turn it around a little bit more and see where it goes.
If you had to distill all this in one sentence, how would you put that across, Gail?
Well, if I pinch it from Simon Sinek,
Love that guy.
Yeah, he said, because he was the power of why, wasn't he? And he said a culture is when people work with each other for each other. That's your strong culture. But if people work with each other for themselves, then the culture is weak.
Fantastic. Thank you for that. And thank you, Simon.
Thank you, Simon.
Thank you, Gail.
Welcome.